Hello and welcome back. In this session, we are going to learn Python implementation for maximum distance in arrays. Okay, all right. We are first going to see the problem statement. Reading quickly. Given okay, the title is maximum distance in arrays, and then the problem statement is given m arrays. There are many arrays, and each array is sorted in ascending order. Pick up two integers from two different arrays so that distance between them is the maximum of all such possible combinations. The distance between two integers a and b is defined as the absolute difference a minus b. Okay, so that means the number could be, whichever, well, obviously all the arrays are sorted, but you know subtracting from you know uh, nth nth the first element of nth array with first element of the n minus 1 n minus 1th array, and vice versa shouldn't make a difference. Okay, meaning you could have you start from the end of the external array, or you start from the beginning. The comparison, it really doesn't matter. Okay, it's straightforward. Okay, sample input, I think it's more clear if you see the sample input and sample output. Here in the sample input we have one external array and three sub arrays, internal arrays. Okay, all are sorted, internal arrays 4 5 6 sorted, 8 9 sorted, 1 2 3 sorted. And see, this is a small, this is a small data, very small data. So a quick visual scanning gives us a pretty fast result, right? It's pretty obvious that the 1 is the minimum and 9 is the maximum here, right? I mean, if we just scan it visually, and answer is going to be 9 minus 1, or absolute of 1 minus 9, right? Pretty easy. Well, if you have very large arrays containing millions of numbers, that's not going to be this is straightforward for our eyes, right? With it's almost impractical to kind of come up with the result just by inspecting with your own eyes. At that time, we take help of computing machines. All right. So yeah, there is a implementation. We already did the implementation in Java. We talked about in that video. We also talked about the high-level implementation. Very quickly, how we are going to implement this. Initially, we set the answer to 0. We call that result. Minimum value we set it to the first element of the first subarray, and maximum value we set it to the last element of the first array. And then we compare. Okay, in each iteration we iterate through the external array, and we consider internal array to be the elements, and in each array we check, we get the maximum of the current maximum, uh, maximum of the current maximum, or the maximum of two things. Okay, so it's altogether it's maximum of three things, maximum of two things. One is the difference between the uh, uh, last element of the current array minus the mean value. Okay, because that gives the maximum difference if we are talking about one individual array. And then that's the first part, and second part is the difference between the max value and then the first element of the current array. Okay, if that is greater, we take that. If the previous one is greater, and what do I mean by previous is the uh, value that comes by subtracting the last element of current array with the minimum so far. Okay, and there is one more which is a current result, the max so far. Yeah, we'll type the program and it will be clear. And then each iteration we get the new minimum value and new maximum value, which is needed, right? So the new minimum value is calculated as the minimum current minimum value, the minimum of current minimum value, and the first element of the current array, and the maximum value is calculated the maximum of current maximum value and the last element of the current array. Okay, that's the algorithm, and we traverse through the array only once for comparison, so it's order of n in terms for time complexity. Now in terms of space complexity, we use the given arrays. We didn't store, we didn't require a new storage for the array. However, we might have other storage like temporary values like result, minimum, maximum. So basically it's a fixed storage, so we call it order of 1. And the last two lines we have the data initialization for Java and Python. The last line has a Python. We'll make use of that for this video. We already made use of the second last line. All right, let's get started. Okay, fai max dist in arrays Python. Okay, let's define the function straight max distance. Okay, we're going to pass one variable. Okay, type is automatically inferred. Very nice. We could initialize result to 0. We don't have anything now. And mean value we get from the first element of the first array. Okay, and max value is the last element of the first array, which is nums 0. And first we calculate the length, and the length of the nums 0 first array, and we need to subtract 1 from that. Okay, that's it. We are ready to start our loop for I in range of length of the array. We want to iterate for all sub-arrays inside, and this is the important line here. Maximum of 3 things, result, and there will be 2 things that will 2 more things I should say. Okay, and I'm writing it this way over here. Max of this one, absolute value of nums I and length of nums I minus 1. Okay, and then I'm going to close this one, not needed for us obviously. Minus 1, and we need to subtract these from the minimum. Well, we need to subtract minimum value from it. Okay, and that gives us potential maximum value. Okay, now I do one parenthesis close. Now I need one more thing. I'm going to write that in the new line, alternative to this one, which is absolute of max value minus nums I 0, nums I 0, yeah, that's it. Max value minus the current first element of the current array. That's simple. And we get mean value, which is minimum of 2 things, the current minimum value minus and we take the minimum of two items, nums, that's going to be the first element of the current array. Okay, and similarly for max value, we're going to get the maximum of current maximum and nums I, and then the last element, we get it this way. How do we get this? The last element, length of nums I, okay, minus 1. Now in one parenthesis, and we return the result as completes this one. Okay, now we write the main, pretty easy. Now we need to initialize. We need that array here. So this one. Okay, minimizing this one. Yeah, okay, that's our array. Now let's call the function, and let's assign to my result is equal to max distance, and we're going to pass my nums there, which is going to return us the answer, and we're going to print that answer here, my result. Okay, and if you remember in Python, we need one more thing, one more line. If name is equal to main, then we call the main function. Okay, so that completes the program. Let's run it and see how many complaints we have. And oh, that was fantastic, we got the answer straight away without any error. How nice it is. And that's our answer, 8. Alright, this completes our implementation in Python for maximum distance in arrays. Okay, so I will see you in the in next videos, one of the next videos, whichever it is, for one of the next problems, whichever problem we're going to pick. Okay, but it will be fixed. All right, so with that I would like to say goodbye.